AirAsia X reported its largest quarterly net loss of 5.67 billion ringgit for the quarter ended March 31st, 2021, as COVID-19 continues to pummel the airline industry. It posted a net loss of 174 million ringgit in the previous quarter. Top line came in at 38.49 million ringgit, down 29.6% from 54.65 million ringgit in the preceding quarter. As announced in December last year, the carrier changed its financial year end from December 31st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. So there is no like-for-like comparison to the same quarter of 2020. In a bourse filing today, AAX said the airline had suffered from the full impact of the pandemic during the quarter. To maintain liquidity during these challenging times, AAX said it has, among others, sought payment deferrals and concessions from its suppliers, lessors and lenders, and reduced capital expenditure wherever possible. It has implemented salary cuts across all levels, apart from the most junior staff, and reduced headcount by 10%. With further reductions planned primarily in the flight operations-related functions. The carrier also plans to make an application for a government-guaranteed loan of up to 500 million ringgit under the Dana Jamin Prihatin Guarantee Scheme. As at March 31st, its cash and cash equivalents stood at 84.64 million ringgit, down from 307.62 million ringgit as at December 31st, 2019. For the 15 months ended March 31st, AirAsia X said cumulative net loss stood at 7.01 billion ringgit on revenue of 1.17 billion ringgit. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin will chair a meeting tomorrow to discuss a full-scale nationwide lockdown, as the surge in new COVID-19 cases shows no sign of abating. Quoting Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Parliament and Law, Datuk Sri Taqiyuddin Hassan, Bernama said the matter will be assessed and decided by the COVID-19 National Security Council. He reportedly said that all Mentris Besar and Chief Ministers will also join the 3 p.m. meeting. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah announced that Malaysia hits another record high of new daily infections today, with 6,806 cases. That's a 12% increase from yesterday's figure of 6,075. This is the second day it has breached the 6,000 level, with Selangor remaining the highest with 2,277. In total, Malaysia has recorded 492,302 cases. 3,916 individuals recovered today, which means there are still 50,171 people battling the infection. 587 are in ICUs nationwide, with 330 requiring ventilators. 59 new deaths were reported, taking the tally to 2,099. There are 528 clusters in the country, with the addition of 24 new clusters today. SIAM-W Plantation says first quarter FY21 net profit rose 20.1% to 562 million ringgit, thanks largely to a better upstream segment performance in Indonesia, Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands. The upstream segment, it said, performed better on the back of sustained higher crude palm oil and palm kernel prices, as well as increased fresh fruit bunch production. Earnings per share rose to 8.2 sen from 6.8 sen. Quarterly revenue was up 20.7% to 3.67 billion ringgit. In a statement, SIAM-W Plantation Chairman Tan Sri Megat Najmuddin Megat Kas said the group is on track to achieve its FY21 financial targets. On other operational matters, the group is working with several parties to address the withhold release order imposed by the US Customs and Border Protection at the end of last year over allegations of forced labour. The group has appointed a third-party assessor to undertake a comprehensive review of all its Malaysian operations and expects the exercise to be completed next month. Shares in SIAM-W Plantation settled 0.9% higher at RM4.45 today, valuing the group at 30.6 billion ringgit. The Kuala Lumpur High Court has dismissed the government's forfeiture suit for 114 million ringgit in cash, allegedly misappropriated from 1MDB, seized during a police raid of a Pavilion Residences unit owned by Obu Holdings 3 years ago. However, the judge did not make any order as to whom the money should be returned to. In delivering his judgment today, Justice Datuk Muhammad Jamil Hussain said the prosecution had failed to prove the monies were obtained from illegal activities. The judge also said the prosecution had failed to produce any evidence that the cash originated from 1MDB. The prosecution has indicated they will file an appeal. The 114 million ringgit cash is part of the assets seized by the authorities from a raid in 2018 as part of its investigation into the 1MDB scandal. Besides the cash, other seized assets included 12,000 pieces of jewellery, 284 handbags, 423 watches and 234 sunglasses, valued at 900 million ringgit to 1.1 billion ringgit. Putrajaya named Obu as the respondent in this suit. While UMNO and Najib are claiming as third parties the seized assets, which included the cash and jewellery. It was previously reported that Obu is a company owned by Works Minister Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusoff's brother Tan Sri Bustari Yusoff, a confidant of Najib. The Kuala Lumpur High Court has set aside the conviction of former Malaysian Merchant Marine Deputy Chairman Datuk Ramesh Rajaratnam for purported insider trading of the company's shares 11 years ago, along with a 5-year jail sentence and 9 million ringgit fine imposed on him. Judicial Commissioner Datuk Azhar Abdul Hamid acquitted Ramesh on all 3 counts of insider trading after finding that the conviction was not safe and accepted the submissions raised by Ramesh's defence team. On September 11, 2019, the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court convicted Ramesh on all 3 counts of insider trading in relation to the disposal of 10.2 million shares in Malaysian Merchant Marine in 2010. He was accused of being in possession of insider information on a proposed downgrade by the Malaysian Rating Corporation on the credit rating of its Al-Bayi Bitanam Ajil Islamic Debt Securities, which was made public by the rating agency on February 4, 2010. He was alleged to have disposed of the shares between January 11th and February 22nd in 2010.